AFL fans can be emotional, and once they make their mind up about a player, it's very hard to change it. They don't just react to what happens in the moment, they remember it. They remember who crossed the line, who embarrassed the game, and who kept finding themselves in trouble. Since 2000, a small group of players hasn't just become unpopular, they became hated and booed everywhere they went, even by crowds with no real interest in the game, and defined by moments they could never fully move on from. This video's about the most hated AFL player since 2000, Toby Green. When Green first came into the league with GWS, he was seen as very talented, a small forward with confidence, aggression, and edge, the sort of traits fans usually respect, even if they're annoying to play against. Early on, he was just another player on GWS who had a bright future ahead of him. That changed in 2017, when he was suspended for striking Caleb Daniel. Green made contact to Daniel's forehead during a marking contest, and the tribunal handed down a 2-match suspension. That was the first moment many non-Giants fans really took notice. That wasn't the only time, though. Between 2017 and 2019, Green was cited repeatedly for various dangerous actions, including kicking motions toward opponents, forceful contact with studs showing, and high or reckless contact to heads and backs. While some resulted in suspensions, others drew fines or early pleas at the tribunal. By 2019, the pattern was so noticeable that opposition fans started booing Green
without fear of his body. 50 metres out, he's got it online. It's just about the journey, and he's got that as well.
Green didn't change his style. He stayed competitive, confrontational, and often right on the edge of what was legal. To many fans, that felt like he wasn't learning from past bans, and that's why the boos stuck in stadiums across the country. Barry Hall, the Staker Punch. Going back a bit further, there's Barry Hall. Hall was always a big physical player with a temper. When he played for the Sydney Swans, he was a strong mark, a powerful presence up forward, and someone opponents definitely didn't want to bump into. In round 4, in 2008, in a Sydney versus West Coast matchup, Hall crossed a line that still gets talked about today. Away from the contest, with no ball nearby, Hall punched Brent Staker. The blow knocked Staker out cold and left him on the ground. It wasn't during a tackle, it wasn't in a marking contest, it was just a punch in open play, well away from where the football was. The moment was replayed endlessly on TV and in sports news. Hall received a long suspension from the tribunal because the act was dangerous and had no football reason behind it. Even after serving that ban and returning to football, the punch became the thing many fans remembered most about him, not always because of anything he did later, but simply because that punch became so closely associated with his name. Andrew Gaff, the Brayshaw incident. Before 2018, Gaff was largely seen as a clean, reliable midfielder in the competition, a powerful runner, dependable on both sides of the ball, and rarely in trouble. That all changed in round 20 of the 2018 season during the Western Derby between West Coast and Fremantle. Late in the game, off the ball, Gaff struck Andrew Brayshaw, causing a broken jaw and instantly ending Brayshaw's season. There was no contest, no ball nearby, caused immediate outrage among fans and commentators. Gaff was suspended for the act, but many supporters felt that the penalty didn't match the severity of the incident and the injury Brayshaw suffered. West Coast went on to win the premiership that year, but Gaff's reputation was permanently altered. Joel Selwood, how a style can annoy. In the early 2010s, Selwood became one of the most booed players in the competition, and it wasn't because of a single moment, but rather because of the way he often won free kicks. Selwood developed a habit of lowering his body when going into tackles, drawing high contact from his opponents. Umpires regularly paid these free kicks, sometimes in dangerous or scoreboard-impacting moments. Geelong supporters saw this as smart, brave football. To opposition fans, though, it looked second-guessed by umpires and frustrating to watch. This wasn't about dirty play or suspensions. It was about frustration built over time. That shows just how strong a reaction a playing style can create, if fans feel it consistently benefits the player in a way they don't like watching. Jordan De Goey, on and off the field. De Goey didn't become widely booed because of one dramatic event. It was more about a collection of on-field and off-field issues that led to official sanctions. De Goey started at Collingwood in 2015 as a talented, explosive midfielder. Early in his career, people liked him for his power, strength in contests, and goal sense. But by 2018, the narrative started to shift. On the field, daicos played with aggression that sometimes boiled over into reckless actions. While not every incident resulted in a suspension, there were multiple tribunal appearances over the years for things like rough conduct or careless high contact. Off the field, daicos was involved in a few official documented incidents that led to club sanctions or police involvement, not rumors, but verified actions. In October 2021, Jordan daicos was arrested after an altercation at a New York nightclub. In January 2022, he pleaded guilty to second-degree harassment, a violation, after charges from the incident were reduced. When a club fines or suspends one of its own players, it becomes part of their public record, and fans pay attention. Add that to the already heavy scrutiny Collingwood players get. Thank you guys for watching. This was the top 5 most hated AFL players of the modern era.